So in QTP, whenever we talk about actions are basically subset of QTP test. When I say a subset of a QTP test, it means that action carries all the properties, values that a QTP test contain. Like say for example, action will be having its own object repository. Second, its own data table. Third, other things that a test contains, right?
Okay.
So if I am having 2 actions or 5 actions, that means I have 5 object repositories, 5 data tables, and all the prerequisite that a QTP test contains. All the things will be contained into an action. Alright, so I can say action is basically a subset of a QTP test. An action is similar to functions in programming language.
Okay.
So the purpose for which you write functions, for the similar purpose we write actions in QTP. And why we not write functions in QTP? Because with QTP, every action is having its own dependency. So whenever I want to call one action inside another action, if I will call a function, then I may not be able to carry its object repository and data table. Right?
Okay.
So, but when I call action, I can carry action itself carries its own object repository and data table.
Okay.
So by default, this is the action 1 that you see. Action 1. In order, if I need to, right, this is the action 1. And the associated sheet it is having, it's the action 1 sheet here. Alright?
Okay.
If you remember in the last session, we discussed about global sheet and action sheet.
Yes.
It's a similar thing. So if I need to create an action, I'll go to insert, call to a new action, right? Here I can mention name. Say I want to create an action called login. Alright, write the description. And now action can be of 2 types, either a reusable action or a non-reusable action. And this is the checkbox to check or uncheck. If I make it a reusable action, the difference between reusable and non-reusable action is a reusable action can be called from other tests as well.
Okay.
So if I'm having a test 1 with action 1 and test 2 as action 2, and I want to call action 1 inside test 2, so I can call that action 1 should be of type reusable. That means whenever action want to flow between one test to another, the characteristic of that test should be a reusable action, right?
Okay.
And if I do not make it a reusable action, that means the scope of this test is only within this particular test. Scope of
that makes sense.
excuse me, scope of this action is only specific to this particular test, right? So this is the difference between a reusable action and non-reusable action. So it's always advisable to create reusable actions, because non-reusable actions does not make much sense.
Okay.
So I'll create OK, and I'll see another login action is created. At the same time, you will see that the login sheet is also created in the data table.
So how did you get that window to pop
up? Which one? For a new action. Yeah, for a new action, go to insert.
Okay.
Call to a new action.
Okay.
Right? I'll insert, call to a new action, type the action name, description, reusable, everything. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So now as soon as you created an action, then you already having this login data sheet. This is also created with the action name.
Okay.
So now what I'll do, I'll come to keyword view. I'm inside login and I want to record a test for say flight application itself, a login activity for flight. So what I'll do, I'll click record Windows application, and similar activity that we used to do. Login. Stop the recording. Right, if I open the object repository, resources, object repository, then I see that this is the object repository created for action login. Right? Hello?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah,
So,
I'm here.
okay. Now you have created an action. Let me save this test as somewhere to my disk. Save as I'm saving the entire. So your one test can have n number of actions. There's no restriction on the number of actions your test can have. Action example. Now I can create another test as well, another action.
Okay.
Again the same thing. Go here, go to keyword view, or if you don't want, like, just go to test flow, insert, call to a new action, and let me create a new action as booking, end of type reusable. Okay, so you'll see that in parallel one more action is created that is called as booking, and associated booking sheet is also created.
Got it. Okay.
Come to keyword view, this is blank, record the booking steps. So let me book a flight from say London to Paris. This flight. Okay, I do stop recording. So why I'm doing it? It's a logical segregation of my script, and just in case if I want to carry the script, call these actions into another test, I can do it. Let me save it. Save. Right, now what I'll do, I'll create a new test.
Okay.
File, new test, and want to call a login action, and login action was created into some other test. Right, login action was created into action example that we have saved. So how I can do, go to insert, call to an existing action, browse the path, it was action example, and in this action example it is saying that you have two actions of a reusable type. Say any action you can call. I want to call login. I clicked login. If I see in keyword view, this will be shown in as login, that it is of type reusable and this action is not part of this particular test, right?
Yep.
And as soon as you called login has also taken its date Excel sheet, right here, right? At the same time, the object repository of this login is also carried away. You will see this, all right? Can you see it?
Hold on one second. Sorry, I'm trying to do 3 things at once right now. Just hold on one second. I got people contacting me. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go back to where we were.
So now you can see how I have called this login action.
Okay.
So this object repository is also called, all right?
Yes.
And one more thing, that any modification, whenever you want to modify anything into this action, the modification can only happen in the parent test.
Okay.
That means if I want to modify this login action, first of all, I'll open the login example test case and modify the login action, then can call. So no modification of a call test can happen at the place where it is called.
Okay.
All right. So this is how you can call, how you can create an action and can call action inside, like how you can from one test, how you can call another action.
Okay.
Okay. So this is how action works. So as an example, what you can do, you can try the same thing, right? You create a test 1 with an action 1, and that action may be, say, calculate on calculator, add 2 numbers, right? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And the another thing, on a test 2, you can create again a action called say subtract, and that subtracts 2 number. And in test 3, call action 1 and action 2.
Okay.
So in this way you will be having an idea how to create actions and all that stuff.
Okay.
Right? So this is about actions. Now second thing is, in the last session we discussed about that was output values, right?